Okay, we are live hopefully without technical issues this week. Um, I didn't schedule it ahead of time because I keep messing up when I do that. Hopefully, you guys will be able to hear me. Today we are technical problem with the mic. Today we are going to use a ball. So if you could have a ball or maybe a squishy ball or a pair of socks handy, that would be very convenient. We're also going to do some reverse Kegels today. So somebody requested that last week, but first we will sit on the ball. So I'm going to just come over and I'm going to join the stream from here just in case anybody wants to chat. So if anybody has questions, you can just add the questions in here. And what we're going to do today, following last week's request, is some reverse Kegels. We're also going to do some other little poses after we do the reverse Kegels. But before doing the reverse Kegels, it's actually really, really good to sit on the ball because it brings a huge amount of awareness to the pelvic floor. Now, before we sit on the ball, if you haven't sat on a ball before, then you shouldn't start with a hard ball like this. You could use something that's squishy, like this is a little it's a love heart, a stress love heart, or you could quite simply just use a pair of socks. If you are a guy that has prostate issues, you might not want to sit on a ball. And in that case, you'd be better actually straddling over a bolster. So you can use a rolled up quilt or some cushions, and you can just allow yourself to straddle over it. But you want to make sure that the perineum is actually sitting on whatever you're using, because it's that sensation, that feeling of something touching on the perineum that brings the awareness of the mind to that area. So the mind to muscle connection, we really want to get that right today. So using either sitting on a bolster, just feeling that. And if you're a girl that finds it difficult to sit on a ball, you can just sit yourself across a bolster like that. You can also sit just like this if it's more comfortable for you, and you can put like the sock, for example, in there. It's not as effective as actually sitting cross-legged on top of it. I'm going to use this one. So what we want to do is find a comfortable cross-legged position. Now, if your knees are way up, you can just roll a little blanket underneath your backside so that your knees come down a little bit. And that just makes it a little more comfortable when you do this. And what we want to do is to place the ball on the perineum. That is the little surface of skin between the anal sphincter and the opening of the vagina for women, or the scrotum for man. So just reach around, find it, and place the ball on the perineum. And then make whatever little adjustments you need. It always takes me a little moment to get this right. And if anybody has questions, I do have the live chat here, so you can just throw a question in there. But first, we're going to just bring the awareness inward. So once we place the perineum on the ball, we really have to work to relax the body. So first, bringing the awareness to the hips, allowing the hips to relax down. Try to relax the legs if they feel a little bit shaky. Maybe they're saying, I don't want to let go. Just tell them it's okay. Let them soften just a little. And then bring your awareness to your perineum. Now, as you feel the ball on your perineum, I want you to try to imagine softness in that area. So try to relax. Imagine you can relax around your sitting bones. Imagine that you can take that relaxation down through your legs, through the knees, all the way to the soles of your feet. And then you can either have the palms resting on the legs, keeping the energy for yourself. You can turn the palms to face upward, we say, to allow the energy to go out into the world, or you can place them in front of you, whatever feels most comfortable. But just start to really let go. And as you feel the opening, just allow yourself to let go. So we have a question here. Difficulty in relaxing the pelvic floor. Can having a tight piriformis or psoas contribute to that? Yes. So if your psoas is tight. That's a muscle that runs from the base of the spine all the way down through the hips and attaches on the inside of the legs. And a little muscle that goes from the piriformis goes from the sacrum at the back and comes around through and attaches to the outside of the legs. So one on the inside of the femur and one on the outside of the femur. They can contribute to tightness in the pelvic floor. So as you sit here, I want you to imagine that you can relax both of those muscles. So start to bring your awareness to the butt cheeks. And I want you to feel deep inside the butt cheeks and just imagine that there's a little grip happening there and then start to lengthen it. So start to let it go. So you can do one butt cheek at a time if it's too much to bring your focus to both at the same time. And then take your focus deep into your abdominals and just let your belly hang. So try to resist any temptation to pull the belly in. Just let it be soft. Keep letting go. So you should be feeling now that the perineum is starting to melt over the ball. So you shouldn't feel any pain. If you feel pain, if it's a little bit too much, take the ball away and just allow the perineum to relax down into the floor beneath you. So focusing on releasing here and letting go. We're not going to be here for much longer. So bring your awareness to the shoulders and allow the shoulders to be really, really soft. Notice if you're holding tension around your neck or if you're doing something funky with your face. As much as possible, we want to be very calm in the face. We want to be very relaxed through the whole body. We want the stomach to hang. We want the hips to be very soft. We want the knees to be soft and the ankles. So everything really soft and really relaxed. Letting go. And then we're going to inhale deeply and exhale. As you inhale, imagine that your lungs are expanding out to the sides. And exhale. And feel the air also filling your abdominals. And exhale. Now you're going to place the hands in front of you. Lean the body slightly forward. And then take the ball, the sock, whatever, away from underneath you. If you're sitting up on a bolster, it can be nice to come off the bolster for a moment. But if you're still comfortable, it's a little bit less uncomfortable on the bolster. So if you're still comfortable, just stay there. So just bring your awareness all the way into your perineum. And I want you to feel that sensation of freedom now that there has been a little bit of a stretch. So before we begin our reverse Kegels, it's really, really nice to do this. This creates a little bit of an extra stretch. It sends a lot of messages through to the nervous system asking for let go. So now that you've had that let go, we're going to let go a little more. So the first thing I want you to do is let your belly hang. And I have a question about sitting on the ball. Can it cause trauma to a coccydynia problem? So if you have any difficulty around the coccyx, it can be quite uncomfortable to sit on the ball because the levator ani goes from the coccyx all the way forward to the pubic symphysis at the front. So it's better in that case just to sit on a pair of socks instead of using a ball. You do want to have something there. It doesn't matter how small, just even an individual sock, just so that you can bring your awareness to your perineum. So now that we have this awareness and this sensation on the perineum, we're going to begin with a little bit of a letting go. So we're going to do reverse Kegels. Now, we're not going to bear down. It's very important that we don't try to push anything down or out. That is not the purpose of the reverse Kegel. A reverse Kegel is simply a letting go of the pelvic floor and the lower abdominals on the inhalation. So we're going to start, before we begin the Kegels, we'll just start taking a nice deep inhalation. Fill the abs, fill the side of the lungs, and then exhalation. So inhale and exhale. And now bring your awareness to your pelvic floor, to that spot on the perineum that we just expanded. And as you inhale, I want you to try to relax that area down. So try to let go as you take the inhale in. And as you inhale, allow a deep inhale that fills the abs and that allows the chest to expand out to the side. And then exhaling. And as you exhale, keep the relaxation, but you're not trying at all to bear down. So whatever lift happens naturally on the exhalation, allow that to happen. So inhaling and exhaling. Inhaling and exhaling. So the key here as you inhale deeply and allow the pelvic floor to relax. Exhale and allow the natural lift. Inhaling and exhaling. So keep with this cycle of inhalation and exhalation. As you inhale, I want you to imagine the space between the front, the pubic symphysis, and the tailbone at the back. Imagine that space expanding. As you exhale, I want you to imagine that space gently lifting without effort. So just with the natural movement of your diaphragm. As you inhale, I want you to imagine the space between your sitting bones expanding. As you exhale, I want you to imagine the gentle contraction as you exhale, but not using any effort. Then, as you inhale, I want you to imagine blossoming like a flower. So, opening everything, allowing everything to be free in that part of your body. As you exhale, imagine all of the petals closing up. Inhaling to let go, and exhaling to feel everything coming back together as you naturally exhale. Inhale and exhale. One more time, we're going to do a deep inhalation and then sigh that one out. Okay, so those are reverse Kegels. Very important not to be bearing down. You're not trying to push, you're not trying to make anything come out of your body. You're just trying to let go of everything. Now, when we do Kegels here at the Flower Empowered, we break them down into different steps. And I like when I do reverse Kegels to also break down that sensation. Now, we didn't go through as many levels of a breakdown, but it's still good to do the separate parts. And now we're going to move into another position that works a little bit on stretching of the adductors on the insides of the legs. So that is the half frog pose. Now, for this one, we have already relaxed the pelvic floor. We've already sat on the ball. Things are a little bit open. And when we do this, we're doing one side at a time. Now, it's up to you to decide whether or not you just lay directly on the floor. It all depends on the openness of your hips or whether you need to use a bolster for some support. So I will first show the full expression of the pose. You should use a blanket underneath your knees because it can be a little bit uncomfortable on the inside of the knee, and we need to be very careful with the knee. So what we're going to do is we're going to come into an all fours position. We're going to take the left leg out just a little bit, and then we're going to take the right hips down onto the floor. So what we want here is to have a 90-degree angle here and a 90-degree angle here. So we're just allowing the leg to be out to the side. And what we want is for this hip to relax down towards the floor. Now, this is a very, very deep position. And if you haven't got very open hips, this can be a little bit uncomfortable. In the full expression, we would actually lie the body down onto the floor. Now, if that's too much for you, I want you to take a bolster or some pillows or a rolled up quilt. Very, very easy to make a bolster out of your quilt. Fold it in half, then roll it into a sausage, and then it's a perfect bolster. So here again, we can do the same thing. So take the same position. So you want the leg to come straight out. So you have 90 degrees here and you have 90 degrees there. And then you can just allow the head to rest down onto the bolster. So taking whichever version of this is comfortable for you, we're just going to be here for about 3 minutes. So wherever you are, whether you're all the way down on the floor or whether you're up on a bolster, I want you to begin to relax your pelvic floor. So bring your awareness all the way down into the pelvic floor. You're going to notice that on one side, on the side on the left where the leg is
out, you're going to notice that there is a different sensation. So I want you to try to bring the awareness back to that spot on the perineum where we were stretching. And I want you to try to let go. Now I want you to notice your rib cage. So as you're gently inhaling and exhaling here, allowing the body to do the breathing for you, I want you to notice if you can feel the movement of the diaphragm. So see if you can sense your diaphragm lifting and lowering as you inhale and exhale. And then with that awareness, bring your attention to your pelvic floor. And I want you to see if you can also sense that same movement as you inhale and exhale. Try to release the left side of the pelvic floor. Bring your awareness to that left leg. I want you to imagine softness all the way from the inside of the hip to the inside of the knee. So those adductor muscles. Try to be really soft. And then bring your focus around to the backside. I want you to imagine softness on the glutes. Imagine that everything on the backside is relaxed. Let your shoulders be heavy. Just allow the whole body to melt down. And then we start to take the first of 3 long, deep breaths. Imagine that you're taking your air all the way down into your tippy toes. As you exhale, imagine that you're gathering tension through the whole body and breathing it out. Inhaling deeply and exhaling completely. One last deep inhalation. And as you exhale, you're going to gently bring some energy back into your hands. You're going to bring the hands so that they're under the shoulders. Even if you're up on the bolster, you want to put them under the shoulders. And you're going to just press gently into the hands, turn out the back toe, and then very gently take the weight back up so that you come to all fours. From here, we're going to take a quick little child's pose. So you're going to bring the knees underneath your body and just allow yourself to rest down. So allowing yourself to be very soft here. Notice the difference between left and right after having stretched only one side. And then we're going to come up. We're going to take the position on the opposite side. So here we're going to work on the inside of the right leg and the pelvic floor. So again, if you need a bolster, you can take that over to the other side. I'm going to change directions. You can just do it in the same place, just for the purpose of demonstration. And if you have questions as we do this, I still have the chat open. So we're going to do the same as last time. You're going to take the leg out, and then you're going to allow the body to rest down. So whether you rest on a bolster or whether you're resting directly on the floor, you're allowing the hip to relax down towards the floor. So this is a very deep opening on the inside of this leg. And you want to then allow the whole stomach to relax down and then let the head rest. So if you're up on a bolster, try to rest your head on the bolster as well. You want to be really comfortable here. You have 90 degrees, you have 90 degrees. And then start to let go. So as you begin to release the tension here, I want you to notice how it feels in your pelvic floor. So notice the weight of your hips pressing into the floor, and notice the difference between left and right side on your pelvic floor. I want you to bring your awareness again to your diaphragm. So as you're inhaling and exhaling, I want you to notice if you can feel how the diaphragm moves when you're breathing. And notice if you can feel that same sensation in the pelvic floor. Keep letting go of your pelvic floor so you don't want to hold any tension. And then bring your awareness onto the inside of that right leg. I want you to imagine softness all the way from the hip down to the knee. And as you imagine that softness, I want you to bring your focus around to the backside and relax your glutes. Just notice if anywhere on that leg is holding tension. And if it is, I want you to be really soft. Try to let go. And however much you think you're letting go, just let go a little deeper. Allow the body to be really heavy here. We're almost there. So letting go of the tension, softening the pelvic floor. Notice the perineum, that area we stretched where we sat on the ball. Can you allow it to be really soft? And then we start to take the first of 3 long, deep breaths. And as you take these inhalations, with each inhale, I want you to feel the pelvic floor expand as you gather up the tension and then exhale it away. Inhaling deeply and exhaling completely. One last deep inhalation. And as you exhale, gently bringing energy back into the hands, gently pressing the hands into the floor, turning out that back toe, coming up and finding your all fours. And we're going to take closed-legged child's pose on this side also. So coming down and finding that nice relaxed child's pose position. You can let the head rest on the floor. So really let go here. Try to let go of as much tension as possible. Shoulders are soft. And notice the balance that has been created by taking that pose on the opposite side. And then coming up. So we should have time for just one more pose. And what we're going to do is we're going to go into a little squat. So this is going to be a soft version of a squat. So if you have trouble getting your heels to the floor, you can roll the blanket so that you have something to put your heels on. You can use a cushion if your backside doesn't come to the floor. So you can put one behind you and just allow yourself to sit in a squatting position like so. Or you can just allow yourself, if you have a deep squat, allow yourself to relax all the way down. But it can be really nice to actually rest the backside as you do this. So I'm actually going to put this behind me so I have something close. So as you allow yourself to rest here, you can just bring the hands together. And we're just taking them together so that we can let them go. And I can see we have questions coming in here. So we're going to just allow the hands to come together. We're going to allow the pelvic floor to begin to relax down. And as you do this, relax your shoulders. So we're not really using a lot of energy to hold the hands here. The hands are just resting against each other. The backside is resting gently on whatever you have underneath you. But what I want you to do is I want you to feel the relaxation coming up the insides of the legs. So we have worked on stretching in that half frog pose. We worked on stretching our adductors. So what we want to do here is to relax the adductors. So they connect through connective tissue into the pelvic floor. And if you can allow yourself to relax these muscles, that really helps immensely with relaxing the pelvic floor. So sending softness. I want you to imagine softness all the way through your spine. So from the coccyx, from the tailbone, all the way up to the top of the neck. Let go of your shoulders, soften your knees, soften your ankles and your feet. As though you're not using any energy whatsoever to be here. You're just resting, you're just letting go. So almost balanced in space, just being supported by the cushions or the bolster or whatever is beneath you. This is an effortless squat. And then we're going to begin to take the first of 3 long, deep breaths. And with these breaths, we're going to reverse Kegel. So you have a very open, very relaxed pelvic floor right now. So as you inhale deeply, expand the stomach and allow the pelvic floor to expand. And exhale slowly.
Allow everything to retract gently. So inhaling deeply, slowly, allowing everything to expand as you inhale. And exhale deeply and slowly as you allow everything to come back into its closed position. Inhaling deeply again, not bearing down, just allowing everything to open. And then one last deep inhalation or exhalation, sorry, as you allow everything to come back together again. And from here, you're just going to bring the knees together. So if like me, you're up a little, you can sit down on the floor, or if you're sitting on the bolster, it should be easy enough to take the knees around and just give them a little hug. I just want you to feel how it is when you've closed the legs again after all that deep opening. It can be very sensitive to become so open, to get so open with this part of the body. So it can be nice just to close things up. And we're just going to finish with taking the knee across. Just go for a little twist on one side. Gentle, nothing too strenuous. And then we're going to just do the same on the other side. And there we go. So that is our little reverse Kegel pelvic floor relaxation class for today. From next week, I'm actually going to switch to doing Q&As on Wednesday. So instead of actually doing a practice, I will be available for you to ask your questions. And I will do a little premiere, I'll put a schedule up so that you'll be able to see when it's happening and so that you can join. And if you have questions ahead of time, if you know that the time isn't suitable, you're very welcome to shoot a little question in ahead of time, and I will take the time to answer while on that call. We're also going to be doing from next Tuesday pelvic floor relaxations on a Tuesday. So there'll be new videos coming, which is quite exciting. And we will, once the hip strengthening series has finished, we will switch to some yoga. So yoga for pelvic floor strength on Thursdays. And if there's anything else that you think you would like, please do feel free to send some little comments. And thank you very much, Alexandria. It's very kind of you to say such nice words. And thank you, Catherine. Lovely to see that you're on the call. I hope that you have all enjoyed this. And yeah, I will see you all next week.